Hi guys, I decided to talk a little bit about me as a human being, as a lawyer, who I am, what I do, how I ended up practicing divorce law, family law. So, I am originally from Ukraine and I moved to Germany. I went to Israel. We immigrated to Israel and then immigrated to Germany when I was 15 years old, and I had a 14 years younger brother, 14 years old, when he was born. And so my parents went through many divorces with each other. They're still together 5 times. So I have seen their first divorce when I was 6. So I have seen it from a child's perspective. Then from Germany, I studied law in Germany, and I passed the bar, and I became a lawyer. And my dream was to always be in America. I remember still watching a Tom and Jerry movie. I don't remember how old I was in Soviet Union, sitting there, and everything was. At that time, everything in Ukraine was sort of hard to get. Even chocolate was. My dad was a journalist, so he was able to get some things, but bananas we had to. Anyway, I saw in Tom and Jerry they had it all, so I wanted to be right there where they are, and so my entire life I wanted to be in America. And in Germany, I got married to someone who was very wealthy. And at that time, I was just about to finish law school. And so on the other side, there were lots of lawyers, and I didn't have a lawyer. So I negotiated my own prenup that I thought was pretty good at the end. It's kind of a pre-story why I thought, well, if I can do it for myself, I can do it for others. And I went through divorce, and it was the fastest divorce ever. And later, that divorce lawyer that I picked was chosen to be the best custody mediator in Germany by President Merkel. So I had a really good picker for lawyers at that time when I needed it. And I asked him, how did he do it? And he told me a couple of secrets, how he talked to the other lawyer before negotiating about personal stuff, and he negotiated my case within an hour, given I had a prenup and I didn't fight, so that helped a lot. In either way, that was a starting point for me to, I didn't know who I want to be. After I graduated from 2 law schools, masters in California, in Germany, basically got 2 law degrees, one in Germany, one in California. I still didn't know who I want to be. And I took a lot of classes. I took PSI class, all levels. And then there was one class called Brainstorm in Vegas, and one of the homework was to write my 5-year plan. And that's where I wrote, I see myself as a divorce attorney because I can relate from different perspectives. I can relate from a perspective of a negotiating wife or prenup or husband. I can see how difficult it could be for the children who are going through divorce, because I was a child when my parents were going through divorce, and I remember my thought process. I thought it's my fault. So most of the time I tried to bring them back together. Sometimes it was successful, but it took me a long time to realize it wasn't me. And then from adult side, to see how my parents are going back and forth. And so that's how I decided to become a lawyer. And when I moved to America, it was 2009. I still remember the date, July 17, 2009. And as you know, there was a crisis. So I took the bar, passed it. In 2010, I took it. 2011, I was fully licensed. So and nobody was hiring. And I remember seeing this Dalai Lama poster that I bought for myself, 10 laws of life or something. And one was, if you knock at the door and it doesn't open, build another door. So at that time, I hired services to apply to 200 law firms. I thought my dream job is to work at a big law firm. And after 2 weeks working at a big law firm, I didn't like the fact that I have no client interaction, that I'm just a small piece of puzzle. I'm not in charge of my own schedule. I have to be at certain time. I have to bill certain amount of hours. I'm dependent on the salary. I cannot really strive. Maybe at some point I would be a partner and whatever, but I think I just didn't like the fact that I cannot strive the way I want to, independent from other performances. Also, I didn't like that I have one boss, which is the law firm boss. Right now, I have 100 bosses. So if one client fires me, I have 99 clients. So I have this freedom of my time. Nobody's dictating how to interact with clients. I adapt as a chameleon. Sometimes I have to be harsher with them to get the message across. Sometimes I sense they're sensitive. I have to be more careful how I talk to them. And there is no script. I felt in law firm there was a lot of politic in terms of how to interact, what to do. I also can say no to clients, which is a luxury. In big law firm, I wouldn't be able to say no. Probably I would be sitting on my table and getting clients I don't like. I'm still learning to say no. Actually, it's not easy because my default is I would like to help all clients. But sometimes it doesn't sit with me, the motive, and I had to say no to clients, and I really don't regret it. And that's what I'm grateful not to have been dependent on a big law firm. Anyway, so 2012, I'm opening my own law firm in San Francisco. I'm still in that law firm, my own law firm, but location is still the same. Right now I have 2 locations. This location is my home office in Marin. It's pretty cool. If you look at everything is set up for Zoom, and then this is my view. You can see my YouTube camera. You don't see the view, but it's pretty cool. And I'm also married with a prenup, and I am a mother of almost 2-year-old, which helps me to relate to clients. I remember I mediated a case, German couple case, where we negotiated everything, and then when it came down to custody, wife said, "How can she help us if she can't relate? She doesn't even have a child." And I thought, yeah, I couldn't agree more. I didn't know anything about really the school system, daycare, I'm learning it still, but I had to learn it. So 2012, opening my own law firm, working 2 years at Justice Diversity Center to learn by mistake. Justice Diversity Center had clients who didn't have a lot of finances, so I was working for free, volunteered, and that's how I learned I actually don't like to give free legal advice. I had a client who didn't show up 3 times, and it's like in baseball, 3 strikes and you're out. When I called her up, I said, "Look, you're not paying me, and I'm waiting for you, and you're not showing up. What's up?" And excuses she gave me was not acceptable. And each time I had a client coming to my office getting free legal advice, I felt depleted. I didn't feel appreciated. And I felt that they would just go window shopping and use my time. And I rather use my time and give free legal advice, sort of not advice, but free legal information on YouTube, where I can reach thousands of people, than sitting and giving it to one person for free. I still have clients who call me and who cannot afford me, and I send them to my YouTube channel where I have 110 videos on lots of family law related topics. And right now I'm expanding to TikTok and Instagram. In any case, so after 2 years of learning, because mistakes I made in cases where it didn't matter, right? So I fixed it. It didn't affect their life in any way. But what I did learn is a lot of things. My biggest case was one case where I was working on deferred payment, helping a woman with a child to set a prenuptial agreement aside. Who the prenup was absolutely not. What does it say? Покажи. Hi, Dasha. Okay, I'm gonna wave back. So cool. I haven't done very many life events, so it's pretty cool to be here. Anyway, in that case, the other side, it was 2014, the other side hired 5 lawyers and said he doesn't have money, he can't pay attorney's fees, and I hired private investigator and found a few $100,000. And I remember sitting in my office by myself, 5 boxes of... They thought they can bury me in paperwork and I will give up. And actually what it did, it created the opposite effect. The more paperwork I got, the more resourceful I became. And the more excited I got to sort of fight this injustice and unfair system of lawyers, and file contempt motions and file all kinds of stuff. But I learned every night. I read chapter about how to fight particular situation. And anyway, the long story short, we settled. And that was my, I think, an opening case to everything is possible, where I felt it was so unjust what happened. And the payday came, and after that, just every case was easier and easier because of the experience of that one case. And needless to say, that client was really, really grateful and happy. And in fact, she wanted to become a lawyer. She's not, but that was her thought after a year of a break. So that was 2014. 2015, I started hiring help. I hired my first associate, who is a lawyer who helps me since 2015, which I'm very grateful for. So I can actually focus on things like this, which I like to talk to clients. So my strength is to negotiate, talk to clients, and going to trial is a tricky one. I like going to trial, and then I end up settling the case. And if I have to go to trial, then I'm prepping as if it's going to be a war. So I usually get so over-prepared that if the trial is scheduled for 1 day, it ends up being 6 days. Not just because of me, of many questions I ask and depositions, but it becomes serious. Anyway, so then last year COVID hit and I was highly pregnant. I hired another assistant who is my paralegal, and another associate as a contractor. So I have 2 lawyers and 1 paralegal helping out. And I still work a lot of hours. I feel COVID created a lot of... I don't know if COVID created divorces. I think that divorces were there anyway, but it became more urgent, right? When things started to open up, people started calling, knocking on the door. I want to get out as soon as possible. And that's where my YouTube channel blew up, because people were stuck at home. and I posted a lot of videos. I was stuck at home too, although it was my baby, but still I was carrying her on one side and filming with her, without her. But anyway, so that is my story. How many languages do I speak? I speak Russian. I sort of understand Ukrainian because I am technically Ukrainian, but I never liked Ukrainian language. For example, I will tell you in Russian, хорошо is good, добре is also good. So it doesn't seem to be very similar, but you can tell there's a difference in accent. So I like Russian. If I had to pick a language, English would be my first favorite language, but Russian is my native language. Of course, I speak German. I probably don't speak as good as I did when I was passing the bar and people were complimenting me that I almost don't have an accent, What I like about America, when I came to America, they were asking me what state I'm from. Not what country, but what state. In Germany, I hired a speech therapist so that my accent is almost gone, and I still was asked what country I'm from. So I feel more connected and more home in America, in California especially. I can't speak for America. I haven't been in many states, so I don't know. But so German, English, Russian, Ukrainian, that's all. Okay, so I see you guys comment in Russian. Yeah, a lot of work. I feel my work is starting to pay out right now. I have to say, from the age of 18, when I started my first semester at law school, I turned about 18. I was the youngest one, I feel like. At the age of 23, I took the first bar exam. I didn't pass the first bar exam in Germany, not the written one where 70% fail. The oral one, it's a whole different story. I appealed. This was completely, the guy who didn't like me confused the answers from the other person, so I appealed, but the time appeal arrived, I already passed the bar, and it was moot. So it actually, that one exam that I didn't pass, the oral German bar exam, accelerated me from, instead of preparing half-ass, usually what happened in the past, I would prepare just good enough to pass. I took the lazy route. That guy taught me to always over-prepare. I was crying for 3 months because I thought the bar exam is defining me, but it didn't. In either way, each time I have a court hearing, I have an exam, you can bet I'm going to be over-prepared. And that's where the underestimation comes in, where, oh, she looks cute, and then surprise. So that bar exam was something. The reason I'm saying it, I think that was also my sort of. I don't think I'd never really liked Germany. Sorry, Germany. I love Berlin. I love Germans. I love the mentality. I love lots of things, but I didn't like the fact that I couldn't be entrepreneurial in Germany. I felt everything is too structured. And I like YouTube videos. I like trying new projects. And I felt Germany was not the type. There were too many regulations. Anyway, so that event accelerated me to want to go to America even more. And then I met someone. Hold on a sec. This guy, Bernie. Can you see him? Yeah. So I met him at Golden Gate University. I took my master's degree there. This is my graduation party for master's, my first husband. And this is Bernie. Sorry, I got distracted. This is my dad. so it all happened in San Francisco. So I met Bernie Siegel at Golden Gate University. He helped me to move to America. I didn't know at that time. We were just friends. And what happened is I was driving scooter. I was doing my master's degree. And I met him across the street from Golden Gate University at the garage, where everyone knew him and wanted me to get to know him, because I got free parking at the garage. And he was helping all people who worked at the garage to fill out applications to colleges, whatever. So when I met him, we became friends. He introduced me to America in a different way, to California. He passed away in 2011, but we talked for 5 years when I even moved back to Germany every Sunday for an hour. And he sent me a list of 100 greatest movie of America, 12 Witnesses, Card Street, Name Desire, really old-fashioned classic movies where I was stuck in winter at home in Germany, studying for the bar, literally 1 year nonstop, no working, just studying for the bar. And at night I would watch these movies. So that's how I learned a lot about American history, because I was done reading stuff for the bar. What else? He was actually the reason why he is here, because he represented mentorship in a way that, he represented mentorship in a way that I would like to be one day, or maybe I hope I am starting to be. He had patience. I don't have that yet. I remember I didn't have a lot of self-confidence for many, many reasons. And he was installing it by saying, let's say, I remember I was studying for the bar in America and I barely spoke English. I literally didn't speak English in 2006. I was admitted to the first class of English. And so in my broken English, I was interacting with him. I'm underestimating myself. So I probably was good at English, but I'm just saying for the purposes of exaggeration. He said, I tell my students when they take the bar exam, look at the ID card, California driver's license card, or the bar card of some people who look dumb and they passed. If they can do it, you can do it. I don't know. I thought it was funny, and it was true. How did he help me to move to America? 2 phrases he said that drove me to America. One thing he said is, when I die, and he was old and he died, I will, and it's a famous phrase, I will regret things I did wrong, but most of the things I didn't try, I will regret the most. I think it's a famous phrase and it sounds differently, but the bottom line is, I didn't want to regret something I didn't even try. And I thought I was just turning 29 when I decided to move to America. And I didn't want to regret not having tried to move to America. I also was doing internship in German government office, and I was sitting across from older gentleman. I think he was in his late 50s, early 60s, and he was tearing up when he heard the word California and master's degree, and he said, at that time I wished I went and I didn't, and he was full of regret. And that was the turning point for me. I was like, no. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm going to go now. So I hired a therapist. I filed for divorce. I gave my therapist an assignment to help me to get through this time. And that was the first phrase. And then the second phrase, I wrote it down and I forgot. If it doesn't work out, at least I will get a good story out of it. So if I go to America and it doesn't work out, then when I come back to Germany, I'll have a good story. I don't have a good story for Germany because I'm here, but these two phrases drove me here. I don't regret coming. I feel more in charge of my life than I ever been. I wasn't really happy in my first marriage. I felt the kingdom of wealth was sort of limiting my ability to strive and do things for myself. And I have it now. I feel everything I'm creating is because it's my efforts. So it feels rewarding, and I feel more myself than I ever been in my life. Yeah. So I think to end this, if you have any questions, ask me. But it's a short version. It's a short version of my story. Yeah, I will end with gratitude for the opportunities that are presented here in America and women. I don't know how my life would have been if I stayed in Ukraine. No idea. I don't even want to imagine. So that's all. Bye, guys.